When we talk about love, most people immediately think of romance, of butterflies in the stomach, of someone completing them. But that is not love. That is dependency disguised as affection. Love, in its purest form, is not about what you receive, it's about what you cultivate within yourself that makes the bond grow stronger. Relationships are not transformed by flowers, chocolates, or fancy dates, but by the mindset and motivations that you bring into them. Today, I want to walk you through 10 love motivations that can change the way you experience your relationships, whether with your partner, your family, or even yourself. Because if you don't get these right, no amount of passion or chemistry will save you. The first motivation is growth. Real love is not about keeping someone the way they are. It's about inspiring them to become the best version of themselves. If your presence in someone's life does not push them towards growth, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you're not in love, you're in comfort. And comfort, unchecked, becomes poison. You need to motivate your partner and yourself to constantly evolve. Imagine being with someone for 10 years and both of you are exactly the same as you were on day one. That's not a relationship, that's stagnation. Growth should be your motivation in love. The second is understanding. Love without understanding is chaos. Most couples fight not because they don't love each other, but because they don't understand each other. They don't listen. They don't try to see through the other person's lens. Real motivation in love is not to prove you're right, but to understand where the other person is coming from. Imagine the power of a relationship where both people make each other feel heard. That's when arguments turn into conversations and conversations turn into deeper connections. The third is respect. Without respect, love is shallow. You can tell someone you love them 1,000 times, but if you insult them in anger, if you belittle their dreams, if you dismiss their pain, you've killed the love. Respect must be the foundation. Your motivation in a relationship should be to honor your partner's individuality. You don't own them. They're not your property. The moment you start controlling, you're no longer loving. Respect creates freedom, and freedom creates loyalty. The fourth is patience. People underestimate how powerful patience is in love. Everyone has flaws, everyone has weaknesses. The motivation here is to give your partner space and time to work through them. Love isn't about finding a perfect person, it's about seeing the imperfect person perfectly. Patience is what allows love to mature. Without it, you will destroy something beautiful with your own unrealistic expectations. The fifth is loyalty. And let me tell you, loyalty is not just about not cheating. Loyalty is about being there when it's hard. Loyalty is about standing beside your partner when they're broken, when they've failed, when they don't feel worthy of love. Most people disappear when things get tough. That's why relationships collapse. True motivation in love is to commit yourself even when the circumstances are unfavorable. That's where trust is born. The sixth is gratitude. Do you know why relationships grow cold? Because people stop appreciating each other. They take each other for granted. They stop noticing the little things. Gratitude is not just saying thank you. It's recognizing the effort, the presence, the energy the other person is bringing. When you focus on gratitude, your love transforms. Instead of pointing out what's missing, you start celebrating what's already there. And when you celebrate what's there, more comes. The seventh is forgiveness. Relationships are full of mistakes. Your partner will hurt you. You will hurt them. If your motivation is revenge, ego, or holding grudges, you'll poison the connection. Forgiveness does not mean tolerating abuse. It means allowing yourself and your partner the chance to heal. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness liberates both. It keeps love alive even after the storm. The eighth is consistency. Love is not proven by grand gestures once a year. It's proven by the small actions you repeat every single day. Sending a kind text, checking in, showing up, keeping your word. Most people lose love not because they don't feel it, but because they don't show it consistently. Consistency is the invisible glue that binds relationships. Without it, passion burns out. With it, passion deepens. The ninth is honesty. Honesty is not optional in love. Without it, everything else collapses. If you're not honest with your partner about your feelings, your struggles, your dreams, then you're not truly connected. People hide behind lies because they're afraid of losing the other person. But the truth is, lies destroy faster than honesty ever will. Honesty builds trust, and trust is the bedrock of love. And the 10th is presence. In today's world, people are distracted. They're with their partners physically, but mentally, they're scrolling, thinking, worrying. Love requires presence. The motivation should be to give your full attention, your energy, your now. Because love does not live in the past or the future, it lives in the present moment. If you can't be fully present with your partner, you'll never feel the depth of love that's possible. Think about these 10 motivations: growth, understanding, respect, patience, loyalty, gratitude, forgiveness, consistency, honesty, and presence. These are not just ideals, they are choices, daily choices. Every morning when you wake up, you decide whether to motivate your love in the right direction or let it rot. The truth is, relationships don't die overnight. They die slowly when you stop growing together, when you stop listening, when you stop respecting, when you stop appreciating, when you stop being present. But they can also be revived, and all it takes is shifting your motivations. Love is not about waiting for the right person. It's about becoming the right person and then attracting the right energy. So if you truly want to transform your relationships, stop chasing the superficial. Start aligning with these 10 motivations. Because love is not magic. It's psychology, it's behavior, it's action. And when you choose the right motivations, love stops being a struggle and becomes the most powerful force of transformation in your life. Imagine a couple sitting across from each other at dinner. One is talking about their stressful day, and the other is nodding but secretly checking their phone under the table. Do you know what that does? It sends a signal. You're not important enough for my full attention. That single act erodes presence, and slowly love begins to starve. On the other hand, imagine the same scene, but the phone is away, the eye contact is there, and the partner feels fully seen. That moment of presence is worth more than any expensive gift because it tells the heart, you matter. Let's go deeper into gratitude. How often do you pause to thank your partner for the ordinary things? The meals they cook, the way they remember your favorite tea, the fact that they work hard to provide stability. Gratitude changes the energy between two people. When you say, I see you, I appreciate you, you nurture a love that can withstand storms. People leave relationships not because of huge betrayals, but because they feel invisible. Gratitude eliminates invisibility. Consistency is another silent power. Many people fall in love with words, but words without consistent action are empty. Someone can say, I love you every day, but if they disappear when you need them, the love feels fake. Consistency proves sincerity. It's like watering a plant. You don't do it once and expect it to survive forever. You do it every day, even when it's boring, even when it's routine. That's how relationships stay alive. Forgiveness is one of the hardest motivations, yet it's the most liberating. Think of how many relationships ended because one mistake was never released. People hold on to the wound like a trophy of pain. But forgiveness says, I choose us over this mistake. That doesn't mean ignoring patterns of harm, but it means separating human error from intentional betrayal. Everyone you love will hurt you at some point. Your choice is whether that hurt becomes the end of love or the fuel for deeper compassion. Respect is non negotiable. Look around you. So many couples are trapped in toxic cycles of insults, sarcasm, belittling. They think it's normal. They laugh about it. But deep down, every disrespectful comment plants a seed of resentment. And resentment is like rust. It spreads quietly until the entire relationship collapses. Respect must be your daily motivation. Even in anger, choose words that don't scar. Because love can survive arguments, but it cannot survive disrespect. Growth is often misunderstood. Some people think growth means changing the other person into what you want. That's control, not growth. Growth in love means becoming someone who inspires naturally. You don't demand, you don't force, you model. When you grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally, your partner feels motivated to grow too. That is the silent magic of influence. If one person refuses to grow, the relationship becomes unbalanced. Love thrives when both are committed to evolution. Understanding requires emotional intelligence. How many times do we assume instead of asking? How many times do we react instead of listening? When you seek to understand before judging, you turn conflict into intimacy. Imagine asking, "Why did you react that way? What are you feeling beneath the words?" That question alone can transform the entire dynamic. People crave to be understood more than they crave to be loved because without understanding, love feels empty. Loyalty in love isn't tested when things are easy. It's tested when temptation shows up, when challenges hit, when life feels uncertain. Anyone can stay loyal in the sunshine. True loyalty shows up in the storm. Your motivation must be to anchor the bond, not to abandon it at the first sign of difficulty. This kind of loyalty creates a safety net where both people can be vulnerable without fear of abandonment. Patience. How often do relationships fail because someone wanted instant change? Why don't you get it now? Why don't you stop this habit immediately? But real change takes time. Love must be patient enough to allow imperfection. Impatience creates pressure, and pressure creates rebellion. When you hold space with patience, your partner feels safe to try again and again until they improve. Love without patience becomes punishment. Honesty is the soul of intimacy. Secrets build walls, lies create distance. And many people think lying protects their partner from pain, but in reality, it creates bigger pain later. Honesty is uncomfortable, yes, but it's better to cry from the truth than to smile from a lie. The motivation to be honest, even when it's hard, transforms love into trust. And once trust is built, everything else becomes easier. Presence, gratitude, consistency, forgiveness, respect, growth, understanding, loyalty, patience, honesty. These motivations are not just concepts, they are practices. They are habits that must be exercised daily. Love is not about big promises for the future. It's about what you do today, right now, in this moment. Every choice you make either strengthens the bond or weakens it. Think about honesty again. Imagine a partner hiding financial stress, pretending everything is fine. On the surface, it looks like they're protecting their loved one from worry, but deep down, that secrecy creates a wall. When the truth finally surfaces, it's not just the money that hurts, it's the betrayal of trust. Honesty could have built a bridge in that moment. Instead of, "I'll carry this alone," it could have been, "We'll figure this out together." That's what honesty in love looks like. It turns private burdens into shared resilience. Now let's revisit patience. If you've ever watched a child learn to walk, you know they stumble, they fall, they cry, but you don't scream at them for not walking perfectly on day one. You cheer them on, you help them up, you give them time. Why do we forget that in adult relationships? We expect our partners to change overnight, to unlearn years of habits instantly. Love requires the same patience you'd give a child learning to walk. Without it, frustration replaces affection, and relationships suffocate under unrealistic demands. Respect, too, deserves a closer look. Respect is not just about polite words, it's about tone, timing, and intention. A sarcastic remark at the wrong moment can wound deeper than silence. Respect is in the way you speak about your partner when they're not in the room. Do you honor them in front of others, or do you mock them to get laughs? Respect is in the way you argue. Do you aim to solve the problem, or do you aim to win the fight? In every interaction, you're either building respect or tearing it down. Let's not underestimate the power of gratitude either. Gratitude doesn't always need words. It's in the smile when your partner walks in, the hug that lingers, the note left on the kitchen counter. Gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of nagging about what's missing, you highlight what's present. And here's the truth: what you focus on expands. Focus on flaws, and they'll grow larger in your eyes. Focus on blessings, and they'll multiply. Gratitude is the lens that can transform ordinary love into extraordinary connection. Consistency, though, is what makes all of these last. Think of a candle. It doesn't burn bright for 1 second and then go out. It burns steadily. That's how love survives. Not through a single dramatic gesture, but through steady, reliable, everyday actions. Calling when you say you'll call, showing up when you promise, being there without excuses. Consistency is how love proves itself in silence, in repetition, in the little things that no one else sees but your partner feels every day. Presence might be the rarest gift today. Most people live in three places: the past, the future, or the screen in their hands. Very few live in the now, but love breathes only in the now. When you put your phone aside, when you look your partner in the eyes, when you ask, "How are you really?" and then actually listen. That's presence. It's not about hours together, it's about moments of full attention. Even 10 minutes of real presence can mean more than 10 hours of distracted company. Understanding is often misunderstood. People think they understand because they hear the words. But understanding is about listening beyond words, listening to tone, to silence, to what's not being said. When your partner snaps at you, do you only hear the anger? Or do you ask yourself what pain might be hiding behind this anger? Understanding requires empathy. It requires asking instead of assuming, observing instead of reacting. Relationships crumble not because of lack of love, but because of lack of understanding. Loyalty then becomes the thread tying all of this together. Loyalty means saying, "I'm with you not only when it's easy, but especially when it's not." It's resisting temptation not out of fear, but out of choice. It's being the safe place when the world outside is harsh. It's holding someone's hand in failure as tightly as you did in success. Loyalty is not glamorous, but it is sacred. And without it, all other motivations collapse. Forgiveness, too, is a daily discipline. You cannot love someone deeply and not face disappointment. They will forget something important. They will say something careless. They will misread your needs. Forgiveness is the practice of choosing the bond over the bruise. It's saying, I won't let this mistake define us. And when both people practice forgiveness, love becomes resilient instead of fragile. At the end of the day, love is not something you find, it's something you build. It's not about who walks into your life. It's about what you choose to cultivate once they are there. Relationships are not destroyed by lack of love. They are destroyed by lack of the right motivations. growth, understanding, respect, patience, loyalty, gratitude, forgiveness, consistency, honesty, and presence. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. If even one is missing, the foundation cracks. So ask yourself tonight, what are you bringing into your relationships? Are you waiting for love to magically fix itself? Or are you committed to motivating it daily through your choices? Because love is not proven in grand speeches or romantic cliches. Love is proven in the way you show up every single day when nobody is watching. And if you get this right, love won't just transform your relationship, it will transform you. It will make you stronger, kinder, more resilient, and more human. That is the kind of love worth fighting for, worth protecting, and worth living for.